Hello, everyone. Hello, my dear beset English student. Today, we will be having our mythology and folklore class, and this session will deal with the 5 ages of man. Once again, I am your part-time professor, Dr. Jennifer M. Orstar. And to begin with, let me introduce you to the author of Where the 5 Ages of Man was lifted. So he was Hesiod, and let us analyze his beginnings. Hesiod is a Greek poet generally to be thought to have been active between 750 and 650 BC, around the same time as Homer. I know you have the idea who Homer is, the one who had written Iliad and Odyssey, and also known as the blind poet. So let's go back with Hesiod. So here, Hesiod is regarded as the first written poet in the Western tradition to think of himself as an individual persona with an active role to play in his subject. So ancient authors credited Hesiod as well as Homer with establishing Greek religious customs, and modern scholars refer him as a major source of information about Greek mythology, farming techniques, early economic thought, as well as archaic Greek astronomy and ancient timekeeping. So one of his famous work is the poem Works in Days. Basically, it is a poem of over 800 lines, which revolves around general truths. Labor is the universal lot of men, but he who is willing to work will get by. So it means that if a person is willing to take some effort, he will be able to survive no matter what difficulties he might have. And to continue, the Works in Days had been a 16th century manuscript revolving on the tradition of how humans should live during their time. So it is divided into 5 ages, which is already flashed in our screen. The first one is Golden Age. The second is the Silver Age, followed by the Bronze. The fourth is Heroic, and the last is Iron Age. So for us to have more understanding about each age, let us have the succeeding slides. So here, the Golden Age is the first age, and it denotes a period of a primordial peace, harmony, stability, and prosperity. And during this age, peace and harmony prevailed in the people. They do not have to work to feed themselves, for the earth provided them with abundance. So as like any other creation stories, people don't have to work, they don't have to look for food because everything is already provided. So they live to a very old age with a youthful appearance, and eventually dying peacefully, with spirits living on as guardian. So it means that in Golden Age, there's no problem at all. So further, Golden Age is the only age that falls within the rule of Cronus, going back with mythology. Created by the immortals who live on Olympus, these humans were said to live among the gods and freely mingled with them. So it means the people are living with the gods. That's why they don't have to look for food, they don't have to find a job. There's no problem at all because they are living peacefully with the gods. Peace and harmony prevailed during this age, and According to Plato, as he recounts the golden race of men who came first. So he clarifies that Hesiod did not mean men literally made of gold, but good and noble. So that's why it is called Golden Age, because they are not made of gold, of course. It means that the people living during this time were considered as good and noble. So now let us proceed with the next age, which is the Silver Age. The Silver Age and every age that follows fall within the rule of Cronus' successor. So you have remembered naman before that Zeus is the one who betrothed his father. So Silver Age will be under Zeus already. So men in the Silver Age lived for 100 years under the dominion of their mothers. So they live only a short time as grown adults and spent the time in the strife with one another. During this age, men refused to worship the gods and Zeus destroyed them for their impiety. So that's the beginning of the punishment of human beings because they refuse to worship gods, as well as Zeus, of course. So after death, humans of this age became blessed spirits of the underworld. These people lived for 100 years as children without growing up. So they remained young, then suddenly aged and died. So that's a pattern of how people lived during this age. After Cronus was exiled, the world was ruled by Zeus. We know that. And as a result of Pandora's releasing of the evils upon the world, the second generation of men and the age was called silver because it was the race of men who was less noble than the race of the golden age because yes, we know before the human beings are living with the gods and they were considered as good and noble, but today or this age the human beings no longer worship gods. That's why they were considered as um, those beings lesser than the first age. That's why they are just regarded as silver. So in the Silver Age, Zeus reduced the spring and reconstructed the year into 4 seasons, so that men for the first time sought the shelter of houses and had to go to labor to supply their food. So they began working already. The first seeds of grain were placed in the ground since now men had to gather their own food. So in this part, they started to learn how to farm. So a child grew up at his mother's side 100 years, but who would lasted a short time. Being less noble than the golden age, humanity could not keep from fighting with one another, nor would they properly honor or serve the immortals. The actions of the second generation infuriated Zeus. So, yes, in punishment, he destroyed the people through a great flood. Now, let's have the Bronze Age and how can we characterize this age? So the men of the Bronze Age were hardened and tough as war was their purpose and passion. So the way of life of these people is joining wars. Zeus created these humans out of ash tree. Their armor was forged of bronze, as were their homes and tools. The men of this age were undone by their own violent ways and left no name spirit. So instead, they dwell in the dark house of Hades, and this age came to an end with the flood of Deucalion. So only the purpose of this age is for men to fight using their weapons. So yes, everything is made into bronze. That's why they are called the Bronze Age. So let's continue. The next is the heroic age. So what is with the heroic age? The heroic age is when one that does not correspond with any metal. As you remembered, we have the gold, the silver, and the bronze. But this time, this is called as heroic because it is the age that improves upon the age as it follows. It was the heroes of this age who fought the thieves in Troy. This race of humans died and went to Elysium. So you know what Elysium is? This is a place where the heroes will go after their death. So in Greek heroic age, we could say that it was demarcated as one of the five ages of man, and the period spans roughly six generations. The heroes denoted by the term as superhuman, though not divine, and are celebrated in literature of Homer. The Greek heroes can be grouped into an approximate chronology based on the events such as Argonautic expedition in the Trojan War. Over this course in time, many heroes denoted, or we could say that many heroes emerge such as Heracles, Achilles, Hector, and Perseus, and other heroes who became prominent in Greek mythology. So let's now have the last. The last age is the Iron Age. So according to this age, Hesiod is one of the people living in this particular age. So during this age, humans live in an existence of turmoil and misery. Children dishonor their parents, brother fights with brother, and the social contract between guest and host is forgotten. So during this age, might make right, and bad omen use lies, or bad men use lies to be thought good. So at the height of this age, humans no longer feel shame or indignation at wrongdoing. Babies will be born with gray hair, and the gods will have completely forsaken humanity. So there will be no help against evil. So in this age, we could consider that people do not respect each other. So yes, uh, living in misery. So what do you think is the implication why we have discussed this topic? The same as what I have mentioned in our previous discussion, the creation stories before, there were no problems, everything seemed to be perfect, but because of the sins and evil doings of people, they were punished and had given difficult way of living by the gods. So we have a lot of stories following this pattern. The bottom line is the scenes created by people make them or make their lives miserable because they were punished. So with that, that would be the end of our discussion for this session, and I will just give you activities to be posted in our virtual classroom. So with that, thank you so much for listening.